So my guy, don't call it a comeback. Have you ever seen a pattern that's reproduced, emulated, imitated, mimicked, duplicated, echo, or even replicated? Well, I'm going to share with you guys in this pattern review on how the pattern that I chose, or the pattern that my partner chose, I should say, mimic another pattern. So if that's some content you would like to see, please continue to watch. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Rochelle from Rochelle.Handmade.Designs. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys kind of like a pattern review, but not necessarily a pattern review, only because this pattern that my partner C from We See Style chose for me to take it to the streets, y'all. This is a pattern that my partner C from We See Style chose, which is New Look 6545. So I'm not going to give a pattern review, and I'm going to tell you why, because this pattern is a pattern mimic. It was reproduced. It was emulated, imitated, mimicked, duplicated, echo, and replicated, okay, of another pattern. And that pattern is Simplicity 8418. And y'all know I just sewed this pattern together. I did a complete pattern review and a complete sew along for this pattern. So listen, y'all, I'm going to tell you guys more of how I figured it out that this pattern is exactly the other pattern and what steps I took. All right. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. And if you are returning, you guys know what to do. Quick snack, something to drink, grab a notebook, but you don't need a notebook. Just come back and vibe with me. All right. So without further ado, to keep this video short, sweet, and to the point, give you all the deets and the news that you can use on this video, let's go ahead and get right on into it. All right, so first things first, I'm not doing a pattern review only because it's the same pattern, all right? So this video is more telling you how I figured out that this is the exact same pattern, all right? Now, did I know my partner was gonna give me this pattern? Absolutely not. Why did she give me this pattern? Because it's New Look and New Look runs small. Really, to be honest with you, I don't know why my partner C from We See Style give me this bomber jacket to choose from. Now, yes, I am the host. I knew all the patterns that were bomber jacket patterns and everything. And my partner was supposed to select based out of a number of patterns that were bomber jacket patterns. I think at this time it was only one pattern that was a PDF pattern. All the rest of them were more of like the big five brand. So last week, December 1st, Joanna and her partner Rell from Rell Sews, they kicked off with an upcycle was their theme. Now, just to say that I don't know if they planned that or whatnot, but you know, I thought it was really cool to see both of the ladies do an upcycle of, you know, their bomber jacket. Now, Joanna from So Very Jo, she put together Scorp's pattern, which was No Me 2010. And then Sherelle, or Rell from Rell Sews, she did Simplicity 8418, which was this pattern right here. So that's the pattern that they sewed up last week. If you missed it, make sure you go over to Instagram so you're able to see that. So this week, me, myself, and toi, right? And I, what my partner chose for me was New Look 6545. When she gave me this pattern, I was like, okay, I'm not mad at it, but I know for me, New Look always have to be sized up. So I was like, I'm not mad at it, but this is not the pattern that I wanted for myself, but I'm not mad at it, right? So first things first, let me tell you guys this as a caveat. When I put this together, I literally hit up all the ladies back in July. And I was like, hey, would you be interested in doing Take It to the Street, where we sew bomber jackets for the fall? Yes. So for those of you guys who don't know and have never been a part of any of my challenges, I tend to give people a lot of time. I literally start working a quarter ahead of time because pattern sales, you know, you got to think of pattern sales, the fabric and all that good stuff. So I like to give, you know, like when I'm doing a challenge, the challenge has been like in the works for at least a whole quarter. you know, I know some people do like, hey, 2 weeks. It's hard for me to do 2 weeks because I'm super busy. So participating in challenges, I love participating in other people's challenges. But for me, you know, I try to give other ladies a month. Well, a month is just like, seems to be kind of like not it for me because I'm super busy. So I try to allow a quarter, which is a long time and you can instantly forget. I get it. But I like to remind about a month out of when to do it. Now, originally, this was supposed to be done October timeframe, but for you guys who don't know, I stepped away from the camera for about a week of filming, and then I came back without a trace, right? It's like, girl, I thought you was gonna be gone longer than that. But long story short, the reason why I think my partner Steve from We Steve Style chose this pattern for me is because one, it's a new look pattern, and when you look at everyone that's on the docket for Take It to the Street, I think, like, I wouldn't say that we was all trying to be cutthroat on what we didn't want to sell, but we was all trying to be cutthroat. Like, that's what I think it was. I think it was more of, I don't want to do this pattern, so I'm going to pick that for my partner so that can be taken out of the spotlight. But I thought it was all fun. You know, so far, I have been enjoying seeing the patterns that the ladies are going to be sewing up. So you're going to see simplicity patterns. You're going to see new look patterns. You're going to see a butterick pattern. By the way, my partner is sewing up a butterick pattern. She shared the pattern on her channel with you guys, which is Butterick 6181, one of the patterns that I chose for her. And the reason why, I'm just going to tell you the reason why I chose it for her. I knew a bomber jacket was placed on her Make 9, right? I know that she's been working on zippers heavily, but this one did not have a zipper. I think, well, actually, I think for her pattern, it was more of, you could do like snaps, you could do buttons, you could do zippers. And I think buttons and buttonholes, you know, was on her Make 9 as well. So I chose a pattern that she could, one, accomplish for her Make 9, but also I wanted to choose something where I know that she's working on different skills or whatever based off of her Make 9. Because I'm her accountability partner and many other accountability partners for Make 9, that's why I chose that for her. But speaking of Make 9, real quick before I get back into this pattern, the Google form is open, okay? It opened December 1st. So I know you guys are like, hey, it's not open. Yes, it is open. You have to fill out the Google form in order to do it. Now, just make sure that if you did not complete Make 9 for 2024, go all the way back down to 5. It will help. It will make your life easier. So start with Make 5 only, but pick 4 extra patterns and then do Make 9. All right. So I'll talk about that more Friday with Make 9 2024. So with this pattern, New Look 6545, the process was easy because when I started doing this pattern, I literally just finished this pattern 2 days prior to doing this pattern. And what happened was I took out the instructions. This is how I figured out that it was REMDER. And REMDER, I already told you what it stands for: reproduce, emulated, imitated, mimic, duplicated, echo, and replicated, right? I know you're like, who came up with that? Your girl, me. I'm smart. I keep telling y'all that. But anyway, I came up with that and I was like, it did everything that I keep telling you guys about these. When I do a pattern drop and I'm like, this is this pattern, this is that pattern. Well, for some reason, both of these patterns drop pretty much the same time. So how I figured this out, I wouldn't have known this simply because back in 2017, this came out pre-fall 2017, okay? Simplicity 8518. But then in spring, like 2 seasons later, New Look pattern came out, okay? Of New Look 6545. So I started looking at the instructions and everything, and I was like, okay, all right. Now, the pattern pieces, the numbers are exactly the same as Simplicity 8418. Was that a dead giveaway when I opened up the pattern? Absolutely not. It was not a dead giveaway, right? So what happened was I pulled the pattern pieces out. I started cutting around the pattern pieces and everything. And I was like, hold up. Why every last pattern piece is the same as the pattern that I just finished doing a sew along for which was Simplicity 8418. So I go to Simplicity 8418 instructions and I was like, yo, this is crazy. Now, I already had the yellow cut out for Simplicity 8418 from like May of this year. It's just I did not have blue fabric to put on the other side like you see. So I was like, let me try something out. Let me get this that's already cut and place it underneath the pattern for New Look 6545. I go grab my husband and I was like, yo, babe, shut the freaking front door. He was like, what? I was like, yo, this is the exact same pattern pieces and all. Like, I didn't even need to cut New Look 6545 because I could have literally just used Simplicity 8418 and sew the freaking pattern together again. He was like, you gotta be kidding me. This is bananas. I was like, yes. So what I did, I put all the pieces together, right? And made sure that this side mirrored Simplicity 8418. And it did. The pattern pieces are exactly the same. The only difference is on the tissue paper, it just says New Look 6545. Like seriously, that's basically what happened. So I'm gonna tell you guys, if you have this pattern, Simplicity 8418, it is the exact same pattern as New Look 6545. One thing I always say during my drop is if I find that it is similar, I am going to say it. You guys know that if you look in the comments or the description box below when I do pattern release time, y'all know I'm going to say what the pattern is going to be, okay? What it looks like. And that's how I figured out this. So basically, I have a complete sew along for Simplicity 8418. I have done this pattern, oh my gosh, 6-7 times. I love this pattern. This is one of my staples. It does not get put back in the drawer. It actually goes in my TNT bucket that I keep at home. Now this pattern right here, I don't really need to get this New Look pattern again, simply because I have this pattern. I grabbed it 2 more times. Now I could have just kept this fresh copy, but it is what it is, right? But yeah, that's what it is. Now, one thing, so let's get into the details of this jacket. So first things first, I knew Take It to the Street, I wanted to kind of go back to the 80s, 90s vibe. So I know I got the chain, the hat, and the glasses for my son when he had a Rock the 80s at his school, right? So I didn't have chains, accessories, or anything at home. And I was like, okay, I really definitely want to step it up for Take It to the Streets. I wanted to actually have the background of downtown Orlando, but it was cold. I had lots of things going on this week alone to the point where trying to, you know, get back downtown, take photos with everything that I had work-wise and after work-wise and all of that stuff, it just wasn't going to happen. So what I did was I went to a location close to my house by my son's school, and I borrowed everything from my son. I was so happy that my son was like, yeah, mommy, you can borrow it, right? So first things first, these plastic sunglasses. I mean, the whole outfit is from Amazon. The chain, the hat, the glasses. I'm going to put them in the description box below. If you ever have an 80s, 90s party, you could definitely get the same thing, and I think it was probably $20, give or take. Now he has the entire tracksuit because he was going for a LL Cool J vibe. I was doing the same thing, so I borrowed the glasses for him. I also have the bucket hat, which I could have made one, but this one fit my head perfectly, so I borrowed that from my son as well. And then the chain, I borrowed that from him as well. So yeah, you know, I was going for like an 80s, 90s vibe with the photos. And then the jacket is, I'm going to take it off because it is a little hot right now after taking photos, but the jacket is definitely reversible. So one side I used both sides I used an Ankara fabric, but one side I did like a color block. So this side right here, I did like a brown with black sleeves for that color block. And then I just used black ponte knit for the collar, the lower band, and the sleeve band. And then On the inside, I just use the Simplicity. So on the inside is Simplicity 8418, but then on the outside was the New Look pattern. Okay, New Look 6545, but it's the exact same pattern, by the way, right? So on the inside, I did the yellow. Now, here's the thing. I like this side better than I like this side. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because it's just a solid and I should have color blocked that too. I don't know, but I was feeling the photos more with this side than the other side. Now, I didn't make any modifications, but I did. But I didn't. So because it's reversible, I have pockets for both sides. No matter what side I wear it on, I can stick my hands in my pocket. Most people would probably leave that portion out. So if you are doing it reversible, you definitely need to cut pockets, okay? So I cut, I think I cut 8 pockets. Yeah, I think I cut 8 pockets total. So for this side, like this side, you're gonna need 4 pockets, and then for the inside, you're gonna need 4 pockets, okay? So if you want, you would sew the lining the same way that you do for the main. The only difference is you're going to add pockets, okay? And sew them together the same way. Everything is the same, nothing different there. Another thing is I did some hand sewing because on the side, I did not want to just kind of, you know, like on the side that you leave open, go back to my sew along, you'll know what I'm talking about. I did some hand sewing right there only because I did not want that to, you know, be poking out on the wrong side if I wear it reversible, like wear it on this side instead of the other side. So you can tell that on the inside, it has pockets for this side as well. So you're gonna need a total of 8 pockets if you are doing pockets on the outside as well as on the inside for a reversible, okay? So make sure you cut those pockets, all right? But yeah, I love it. I thought it came together very well. Would I sew it again? Absolutely. But I think that's pretty much it for this pattern review. It wasn't like a pattern review, but I love it. Now, before I tell you guys some more details, I want to say that I am going to be live this Friday with Alethia from So Much Talent. We will be live doing Beat the Clock. This is episode 4. I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to sew, but it's going to be a top. I can definitely tell you that as well. But stay tuned for next week, December 15th. But stay tuned for next week, December the 15th, Sunday, December 15th. We're going to have Schelli from Schelli and Dayana from 26 by Dayana. They're going to be doing Take It to the Streets. You wouldn't want to miss it. Of the 2 patterns that the lady have, this one's going to be interesting. I would love to see what they did. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. And if this video was educational, inspiring, and fun, you guys know what to do. Go ahead and hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. And the theme this week was color block. My girl C from We See Style and myself, we color blocked our bomber jackets. Now, where are we talking to say, hey, make sure you color block or pick a theme? We did not. We just decided to do so. All right. So do not forget to go over to my partner C from We See Style channel so you can see what she sewed up, and make sure you are following her on Instagram as well. Well, that's it for this video. Until next time, keep sewing.
Son de verano, de lunes a lunes nunca paramos, yeah. Ya está saliendo el sol, ven y préndete. Esto es fácil, no me llames si tú andas con Lucy. Estamos en Miami, en un yate, un corito sano, no le pares. Muchos de mí hablaron, muchos criticaron. Gracias a toda la gente mía, nunca me dejaron. Antes yo le oraba a Dios para comprarme un carro. Ahora todo lo que yo tengo a ti te sale caro. Pero no le paro, ando a mil, no me comparo. Gracias a Dios por todos los blessings que se caen diario. Sin embargo no me canso, sigo dando palos. Vamos a pegar un día de esto pa' salir del bar. No te pongas triste, esto es un flow universal. Hice lo que dijo Dios, no lo que quise. De la maldad que Dios me libre. Y el respeto se gana, manito, eso no se consigue. Dale ven, te quiero ver gozar y pasarla bien. Vamos, mira que caliente se ha puesto el weekend. La temperatura en 100.